Coming up on Sportsource, learn about one of the premier dual sport athletes in the Athens area.
And how an unexpected change in the Appalache High School baseball program has led them to become first place in region.
Plus, a spotlight into Daniel Magby, the top esports player at Clark Central High. Sportsource starts now.
Welcome to Sportsource. I'm your host, Emily Wisnowski. The competition is heating up. High school baseball is charging into the playoffs while football teams are kicking off their spring practices. But one student is juggling both. Sportsource reporter Nick Pierce has the story.
That's right, Emily. North Oconee junior Landon Ran is a force to be reckoned with on both the diamond and the gridiron. His athleticism and dedication are truly remarkable. Let's take a closer look. To be able to master several different skill sets is a hard task for anyone. But for Landon Ran, it seems like everything he does just comes naturally to him, especially in football and baseball, where he plays both sports at the varsity level for North Oconee High School.
I started off in Grayson, so in Gwinnett County. I played baseball when I was 4 years old and then started off football at 6, so played it pretty much my whole life.
And Roldan has never looked back since his beginning in the two sports. In his junior football season, Roldan was named to the Georgia 4A All-State team as a wide receiver, as well as the region's Athlete of the Year. As for baseball, Roldan was named to the preseason Georgia 4A All-State team. Roldan has played as the Titans' starting center fielder all year, and sometimes has even been called upon to pitch. Roldan hopes his efforts can help lead North Oconee to their third straight state championship.
Seeing this baseball team win the state championship the past 2 years, I've been motivated to try and make it a three-peat.
With Roldan in the spotlight on a team with high expectations, the weight on the junior's shoulders might seem significant. But for Landon, the pressure never gets too big.
He acts the exact same way. Could be high pressure, low pressure. You still get the same kid out of Landon every day. It's one of his biggest assets. Situation never gets too big. He just goes about his business the exact same way every time.
On top of his success on the field, Landon has seen a lot of success in the classroom. He's won multiple academic awards and has had his transcript pulled by several Ivy League schools.
I like to go with schools first, make sure my grades are good, and then if my grades are good, it carries out to the field.
Wherever Landon decides to continue his journey in college, they will get a guy who can truly do it all. Yeah! Reporting for the Carmichael Sports Institute, I'm Nick Pierce. The Titans' quest for a three-peat continues next weekend in the first round of the state playoffs. And once baseball wraps up, Landon will be right back on that football field. A true testament to his talent and drive. Back to you, Emily.
Thanks, Nick. Coming up on Sportsource, get ready for a showdown at Jack Turner Softball Stadium this weekend. With me to break it all down are Sportsource analysts Abby Halpin and Mackenzie Wolford.
A top 15 clash is brewing as Missouri takes on Georgia. Can Georgia stop this red-hot Missouri team?
After the break, we take a look at the key players, the ones who could swing the series. More on who to watch when Sportsource returns.
Welcome back to Sportsource. Softball fans, get ready for a thrilling weekend at Jack Turner Stadium as the Missouri Tigers roll into town for a top 15 clash. I'm joined with Sportsource analysts Abby Halpin and Mackenzie Wolford to preview the action. All right, Mackenzie, we'll start with you. The Bulldogs are deep into their SEC schedule. How have they handled the challenge so far?
Emily, the Dogs have been on a roller coaster ride in conference play. They exploded out of the gate with wins over Alabama and Ole Miss, but have stumbled and lost 3 straight series. They avoided sweeps against top competition, keeping their conference record barely over 500 at 8-7. The skid caused the Dogs to fall to number 9 in the polls.
And Emily, it isn't just the Dogs struggling in the SEC. Missouri has a shaky SEC record themselves, sitting at 7-8. However, Mizzou has pulled off some major upsets against ranked teams like Tennessee, LSU, and most recently, the Florida Gators. These upsets, all of which have come on their own field, have catapulted the Tigers to 13th in the rankings.
This is shaping up to be a must-win series for both teams. So, Mackenzie, what edge do the Dogs have that could tip the scale in their favor?
Well, Emily, I actually asked head Georgia softball coach Tony Baldwin that exact question. Here's what he had to say.
Ultimately, it's just winning on all three phases. That's what's going to be the key. It's not going to be as much about what Missouri does. It's ultimately going to be about us, controlling the ball from the circle and, controlling the strike zone, making the right play at the right time on defense, and then timely hitting.
Emily, even if Coach Baldwin won't come out and say it, I will. The Georgia lineup is absolutely stacked. Every Bulldog with significant at-bats has hit it out of the park this season. Their 68 homers lead the SEC, while Missouri's total ranks among the worst in the conference. And the Dogs don't just hit for power. They rank near the top of the conference in doubles, runs, hits, and RBIs. This team makes contacts and drives in runs from the top to the bottom of the lineup.
Now, Abby, we know Georgia packs an offensive punch, but what does Missouri bring to the table, and can they keep up with this powerful Bulldog lineup?
Emily, the Tigers may be down, but they're not out. They boast a strong pitching staff, currently ranked 7th in the SEC, with a 2.31 ERA. Importantly, they held the high-scoring Florida Gators to just 8 runs in their 3-game series, proving that they can contain potent offenses. If the Tigers want a chance to pull off another upset, their pitching arms will be crucial.
It looks like this series is setting up to be a battle of power versus precision. Are there any players on both sides who could swing momentum and determine this series?
Absolutely, Emily. Mizzou packs a serious 1-2 punch at the top of the lineup, Jenna Laird and Alex Honnold. The senior duo is a force to be reckoned with at the plate, as Laird posts a .370 batting average, which leads the team, and Honnold has an incredible 103 OPS. Mizzou might not always hit home runs, but in a high-stakes series like this one, their ability to get on base is going to be the key.
And Emily, you can't talk about the Dogs' offense and not bring up Jada Kearney. Her 15 home runs lead the team and are tied for the most this season in the SEC. And while Kearney may not go yard every time she's at the plate, don't worry, she also leads the team with a .373 batting average, .761 slugging percentage, and 50 total hits. Kearney can make contact. And if I had to highlight just one more Georgia hitter, I'm shouting out Sarah Mosley. The veteran third baseman is battering .329 this season and has an astounding 53 RBIs. The total leads the team, is second in the SEC, and tied for 8th in the nation. Mosley is such an integral part of this offense as she leads the team in at-bats and can certainly hold her own in the field as well.
Mizzou's high-powered offense and the explosive dog duo of Kearney and Mosley promises a thrilling matchup. So, who do we think takes this series?
Emily, it really is a tough call for me. Georgia has hit a rough patch in the SEC while Missouri is finding their groove, but Georgia's hunger for victory in a series with such a large impact on SEC tournament seeding give them the slight edge. If they can put all the pieces together, I predict a narrow 2-1 win for the Dogs.
And Emily, for me, this series is a toss-up. Both teams are evenly matched, making it anyone's game. But Georgia's recent struggles against SEC opponents, combined with Mizzou's win over Florida, give the Tigers a momentum edge. They're ready to take advantage of Georgia's vulnerability at Jack Turner. I predict a tight 2-1 series win for Mizzou.
I love the split predictions and look forward to watching the games this weekend. Thank you both. Coming up on Sportsource, the pressure is on in the digital arena. Esports championships are heating up, and we went one-on-one with Clark Central star player Daniel Magby. He's breaking down all the playoff battles and his journey to the top. And later, history is in the making. A Barrow County baseball team is on the brink of a record-breaking season. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Sportsource. Our reporters usually cover stories that occur on local fields and courts. But Sportsource reporter Joe Kopshow found his next great story in a surprising place.
That's right, Emily. Clark Central High School's library hides an Easter egg. In it, you can find the media room, where you can often find a dominant esports team and the powerhouse that leads it all, Daniel Magby. Magby's Super Smash Bros. Skills are unmatched, and his team is making a deep playoff run. I challenged Magby to a match and got the inside scoop on his meteoric rise, as well as his insights into the local esports community. I'm sitting here with one of the best players on the Clark Central High School team. And before we get into it, are you going to go easy on me? First question.
That depends. See how you do.
All right. So you had your first playoff match today.
Of
Yes.
course, you came home with a win. What does it feel like just in the first year of this program being able to win a playoff game?
Honestly, it's feeling pretty good so far. We did this last semester, and we made it pretty far last year as well, or last semester rather. And I'm hoping to hopefully get a little further, maybe even win this one.
And building off the success of today, what do you kind of expect as you go on in the playoffs?
I'm definitely expecting harder opponents because today's opponents were really good, but they didn't offer quite the challenge like last semester's. But yeah, that's about what I'm expecting.
And what are the hopes as you keep going on in the playoffs?
I'm hoping our team has a little more faith and confidence in one another. But yeah.
And you talk about faith and confidence. It was brought up that you're kind of a leader having so much skill in this game. How do you address that role?
Well, a lot of my teammates ask me for like advice on certain matchups and characters in this game, so I just try to do my part and give them the best advice I can give them.
And this is, of course, again, the first year of this being a thing here at Clark Central High. While you're a senior, how do you look to build the program after you're gone?
Well, I am enrolling my first college year at UGA, and so I was hoping to coach here when I go at UGA's own esports club and help them best I can, even while I'm not enrolled here.
Yeah, and you mentioned that partnership with UGA. What has that been like to help you through the process? And what is it like to have a mentor?
They've been awesome. They helped me realize weaknesses that I never even knew I had before.
That one was not close at all. You beat me bad on that one.
Oh, you did.
I did get you once. And
you did get me.
As this kind of goes on, what would you tell people that maybe aren't so invested in this world of high school esports?
Well, what I can say is that there's something for everybody. So if you do have like free time after school but can't quite find what you're passionate about, and if you just, enjoy hopping on a game, whenever you get off from school, then this is definitely the place to be, and find others that are passionate about what you are. So this is definitely the place to look for things like that.
And at least I did a little bit better than the CPU did there.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see you there. The video game didn't exactly go my way, but Daniel Magby and the Clark Central High esports team are on fire. They're charging through the playoffs in just their second semester in their inaugural season. This program has a bright future ahead. Now, it's time for me to get some practice in. I will have my revenge. Oh, and back to you, Emily.
Thanks, Joe. The transfer portal is shaking up college sports, and the Georgia Bulldogs are feeling the tremors.
After the break, we're breaking down the big moves. Who's in, who's out,
and how these roster shifts could make or break Georgia's future. Don't miss it.
Welcome back to Sportsource. The transfer portal chaos continues for football and basketball in the offseason. Joining me now are Sportsource analysts Carmen Corley and Lily Brody to break down all the transfer action.
Thanks, Emily. Let's kick off with football, where the transfer portal is shaking things up. Several former Bulldogs are looking for new homes, some seeking more playing time. Others are looking to strike up some cash with NIL deals. Let's take a look at who's leaving Dog Nation. Mekhi Muse, the Dogs' main punt and kick returner, will take his talents to the University of Houston next season. His transfer surprised me the most. Next up, we have outside linebacker Marvin Jones Jr., who's transferring to Florida State. He recorded playing times in 12 games for the Dogs. Finally, quarterback Brock Vandegrift transferred to Kentucky, where he will be their starting quarterback. Vandegrift had an impressive showing at Kentucky's spring game this past weekend. We wish all these players the best. But now for the exciting news. Georgia's bringing on some major talent for 2024. Leading off, we have running back and ex-Florida Gator, Trevor Etienne. His addition to the backfield brings a pass-catching dimension that is expected to benefit quarterback Carson Beck. We also have wide receiver Colby Young, coming from the University of Miami to be a Dog. He will bring depth to the receiving corps and has already showcased this at G-Day this past weekend, catching a touchdown pass.
The future looks bright for Georgia football. Now let's turn our attention to Georgia basketball. Head coach Mike White led this year's team to a long-awaited postseason appearance. However, despite recent success, the portal has been busy for the Hoop Dogs. Portal losses include Jabri Abdur-Rahim, Matthew Alexander Moncrief, Justin Hill, Jalen Deloach, and Mari Jordan. With several guys in the portal, the Dogs will be looking to rebuild this team. Losing Jabri to Providence will hurt. He was the team's second leading scorer, averaging 12.2 points per game, leaving big shoes to fill. But watch out for these potential additions. The first potential get is UMass transfer Matt Cross. The senior averaged 15.3 points, 8.3 rebounds, and 3 assists per game last season and could be a pivotal gain for Georgia. The Dogs have had their eyes on 2 rising stars from Mount St. Mary's. One with a commitment Thursday, Deshane Montgomery, who is coming off a breakout freshman season, averaging 13.2 points and 3.5 rebounds per game. Also still in the portal from Mount St. Mary's is guard Dakota LaFew. This 6'5" senior averaged 17.6 points per game this season and could greatly help the Dogs. Since Montgomery has recently committed, it's possible LaFew will follow.
What other sports have seen players really shake up the transfer portal?
Emily, the defending SEC Tournament Championship soccer team has welcomed graduate student midfielder Amber Wynn, rising junior defender Maddie Baker, and rising sophomore defender Tyler Cassetta on their roster. These girls will be an excellent addition to the Bulldog team that saw major success this season.
And Emily, this winter volleyball head coach Tom Black secured transfer outside hitter Biana Moneke from Texas A&M. In her freshman season, Biana recorded 297 kills, 191 digs, and 41 blocks, earning herself a spot on the 2023 SEC All-Freshman team.
Thanks for the insight, guys. There sure has been a lot of action in the portal. The football transfer period continues until April 30th. Basketball is right behind them, closing May 1st. The transfer portal is far from being over, and we'll keep you all updated on how it shapes the Bulldogs' future. Coming up on Sportsource, Appalache High School's baseball team is on a historic run. Can they keep the streak alive? And the debate rages on. Is Caitlin Clark the undisputed GOAT of women's college basketball? We're diving into the controversy. Sportsource returns after the break. Welcome back to Sportsource. Baseball season is in full swing, with records being broken by different programs left and right. I'm joined now by Sportsource reporter Brett Stevens to discuss what school is making motion on the field.
Emily, Appalache High School is playing some of its best baseball in school history. They are first place in their region and are the team to beat heading into the GHSA playoffs. I spoke with head coach Kyle Bailey about this team's unexpected journey to becoming the top-ranked seed and how their incredible team chemistry has generated success on the diamond. The Appalache Wildcats are on fire. They're this close to clinching the region championship, and it all comes down to their next game.
Probably just have like a underdog mentality. You know, not expecting a ton, but they're definitely going to battle next year, and hopefully we can leave the fight that we have with them and leave it with the whole program.
This season is extra special. Their new head coach, Kyle Bailey, is a former history teacher who stepped up after 6 years as an assistant.
Been here since 2017 as an assistant coach, but this is year 1 as the head coach, and it's been a lot of fun being able to make that transition with the group of guys that we have this year. It's been pretty fantastic.
Coach Bailey's got a unique approach inspired by military history.
I just absolutely love the Navy SEALs as like an organization. I think it's one of the most high-performing teams on the planet. Outside of sport, obviously. Outside of sport, I mean, it's very different, but it is so similar when it comes to the team aspect of things, how much they have to trust each other, how much they have to do the hard stuff. How much they have
With 14 seniors on the team, next year will be totally different. But Coach Bailey isn't just focused on winning. He's building character and teaching his players that life's about more than baseball.
And we want Appalachian baseball players to be selfless, so there's the S. They want to be elite, accountable, and we want them to be leaders. In every way, everything that we do, we want them to be Navy SEALs is the kind of the idea.
The Wildcats have their eyes on their rivals, Gainesville High School. They're hungry to make history before that big matchup, and they've got the drive to do it.
We are one win. We are one win away from clinching the first region championship in school history, which is really, really special. I'll be honest with you, it'd be a nice birthday present if it happened on my birthday too. That's true.
And guess what? They pulled it off. Appalache won last night with a walk-off homer in the 7th inning by senior Judah Powell. What a birthday present for Coach Bailey. These Wildcats are heading into the postseason on a high note.
We've got such great kids We got such great kids in our program that it makes it really, really easy to do small things. And I think that they are hoping to do big things using those small things in the future.
Reporting for the Carmichael Sports Media Institute, I'm Brett Stevens. Appalachia's on-field triumphs are a representation of the culture they have created over the past several years in their baseball program. They have last night's victory as a memento of their hard work, and Coach Bailey and the Wildcats' story is just beginning as they claw their way into the postseason. Back to you, Emily.
Thanks, Brett. Coming up on Sportsource, Caitlin Clark's time in college hoops is over, and her impact will be felt for years to come. But without winning a championship, is it enough to earn the title of the GOAT? We're diving into her legacy right after the break. Welcome back to Sportsource. GOAT is a term widely used around athletics to signify a player who is the greatest of all time at their sport. And while each sport has a GOAT of their own, this player may have just cemented her name as the greatest collegiate basketball player of all time. Here to discuss whether or not this athlete has reached GOAT status is Sportsource reporter Christian Kirby.
Emily, Caitlin Clark just wrapped up her collegiate career with one of the most impressive resumes in all of college sports. Not only was she selected first overall in the WNBA draft, she set an NCAA record for career points, broke Iowa's single-game scoring record, set a Big Ten record for career three-pointers, was a unanimous All-American, won the Naismith Award for 2 years in a row, appeared in multiple March Madness tournaments, and became just the third Iowa player in basketball history to have her jersey retired. Oh, and she did all of those things, all while elevating the sport of women's basketball to a level it's never seen before. But despite all of her accomplishments, there's one box she never checked during her collegiate career: winning a national title. This begs the question, can Caitlin Clark be the GOAT of women's basketball if she never won a ring? In my quest for answers, I took to the streets of Athens after hours to be sure I got the Classic City's unfiltered opinion on college basketball's biggest star.
All right, so can Caitlin Clark be the GOAT if she's never won a title?
No.
All right, why not?
Because, like, what does she do? Like, I don't think she really serves a purpose if, like, well, no, I mean, she serves a purpose. She just, like, what's the point?
Honestly, you know, I guess it just depends on the stats. I'm not going to lie. I mean, if her stats show the story, let her stats show the whole story. I mean, if she hasn't won a title and she ain't got the stats, she's not the GOAT. I mean, that makes sense. But, I mean, if she's got the stats, I feel like it's arguable if you don't have the title.
So can Caitlin Clark be the GOAT if she's never actually won a ring?
Absolutely.
Okay, why is that?
Because she's made the game more popular than ever. Like, I actively watch women's basketball for the first time because of her.
Who's the GOAT? That's the question.
No.
Do you think Caitlin Clark can be the GOAT if she's never won a title?
I think she could be in the future, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
When she wins that title next year, yeah, for sure.
I think Caitlin Clark has completely changed college women's basketball. If you look at the stats, the amount of assists and goals she's scored is just incomparable in the sport. Caitlin Clark is the indisputable GOAT.
So it seems like the city of Athens has some mixed reviews as to whether or not Caitlin Clark has reached GOAT status. But one thing's for sure, Clark has certainly cemented her legacy as one of the most exciting female hoopers of all time and is going to be a major basketball attraction for many years to come. Back to you, Emily.
Thanks, Christian. To wrap up our final show, we have a special goodbye message for you all. Don't go away. And that's a wrap for our chapter on Sportsource. Each week, we, a team of UGA students, brought you the latest sports news and analysis. With the semester ending, this is our final show. There's one more Sportsource from another team, but this is our team saying goodbye. Some of us are graduating soon, while others might be just back here again in the future. You never know. We've had an absolute blast putting on this show for you guys, and we truly hope that you've enjoyed it. But for us, it's a bittersweet goodbye. A huge thanks to everyone who's tuned in. You've made it all worthwhile. One last cheer to the amazing Sportsource team, the Carmichael Sports Media Institute here at UGA, and Professor Lawson, who oversees the class. Turn it up, class of 2024!